Today, but here today, I'm just looking at as I got in live. I'm like, oh, I've been sitting here recording and editing and realized I got a big smudge down the side of my face. Welcome. Just letting people join in. I am doing the energy reading for today and reading through the energy of what's happening out there in the world. I didn't get in yesterday, so try to add it in today here. Just bring it up on my phone. Hello, Larissa and Misty. Hello. Hello. And hello, Lisa and Beth. Hi. So this is recording on both live on Facebook and YouTube together that we do come up here. So these mornings, or I guess afternoons, whatever, we're in afternoon right now. This should have been morning. I sat here about 9:30, started this journey. Thought I was going to get these in. But these early day readings that I do these are messages that are just reading the energy forecast. I pull a card. I don't choose. It's collective energy. It's not it's not individual reading so much. So this is about everybody. So I like to make this about everyone. So if you're staying, you're hanging out, then know that it is the energy that may be a message for each and every person who joins in. I love to be able to share this. So I'm just getting prepared. Yay. You did catch me live, Megan. Hello, Michelle and Kavita, right? Kavita, hi. And to everyone who watches and doesn't comment, I know you're there. I can feel your energy. I am so thankful to see so many people that interact in my lives and in my videos. While we're waiting for people to join, I'm feeling out the energy. I did just post my She Is podcast on YouTube, so you can go, and that's an audio. So if you're going exercise, you're going for your walk, you can put me in your ears and you can listen to my podcast. There is 10 now in there. That is my newest YouTube channel. She Is More Than Existing. And then also on the other YouTube channel, which is Corey Thorne, the Spiritual Healer, which a lot of people are joining in right now. I did just post the weekly forecast reading in there for the week as well. So that's in there as well. There is many beautiful things. Oh, and my meditation. So the full moon meditation also just got posted in Corey School of Magic. I do that one by donation. If you can't afford to pay anything, then don't. There's a different price range of donations that you can make if you want. And if you can't afford that, then it's free. So it is in Corey School of Magic. That's for the full moon coming up. And I think it's about 44 minutes, 40, somewhere around there. 44 minutes long. I do a little bit of talk in there as well. Yeah, it's a little, so today, Beth, everything is a little bit, all the connection is like this today. It is rainy and windy here, so I don't know. So it's, yeah. Happy May 24th, Paula. Yes, this would be the long weekend. Not really a long weekend for me. I've worked all weekend, plus packing and moving and shifting. So we are in full moon. We are in full moon energy right now. Hello, Kelly and Jaden and Judy and Angie. Hello, everyone. And Colleen, hi to everyone who's joining in. I'm just letting the energy come in here. So we are in the full moon energy coming up. The full moon is on the 26th. It's not we're not right yet. So but the full moon meditation came to me last night. So I recorded last night. This is a flowery moon. It's not so much about the seeds we plant. It's about what we let unfold. And so what's coming up in this energy is what we are not allowing to unfold. I was live a year ago today. Oh, happy anniversary today. That's funny. So yeah, you were on my, it's right. You were on my live the day you were getting married. That's right, Beth. So you were. And so this energy that's coming up is about what's unfolding, and it isn't a fire sign. We have some Sagittarius, but we are now in Gemini season, We just shifted over on the beginning of the weekend into Gemini. So if you are a Gemini, then happy birthday to you. There is the last few days of the month that those zodiac readings are also on YouTube. You can go in there as well. So what's coming up mostly for me today and is a shift is there is a shift of energy. We do have a shift of energy. And I'm in my energy forecast that I just did for the week. It's like laying the cards down, putting the cards down, like laying it down, laying it all down, just putting it. I'm not playing no more. So there's no more playing games. We're not playing games. We're getting very serious about life and about things and about our healing journey. For me, I know personally, I've been doing a big, massive kind of end of I needed to end some stories. I needed to finish up some things that had to be done before this full moon came in. We are going through a big complete change. There is like an ascension that is happening. And if you're not into spirituality or into the lingo of that, is that we're in a shift, we're in a change, and we have some changes that are happening within our own selves, within our own energy. And this full moon is lighting up the areas where you're just done. And Sagittarius is like, it's known as the Sagittarius is known as the nice ones. Of the fire signs. All fire signs are nice, but it's just like they're just happy people, happy energy normally. Now, trust me, I've got a few Sagittarius but that's not personality. So personality and previous trauma and that affect people's personality has nothing to do with your zodiac sign. So you can't live your life by a zodiac sign, or by previous relationships with people who were in zodiac signs. But Sagittarius is very take charge kind of energy. They're there for everybody. It's that kind energy. So we have a lot of kind energy around us right now coming into this moon. It is about exploring the areas with love, compassion, and kindness for yourself as you explore the areas where you just say, you know what, I just can't do this no more. I am done. I'm not playing the games. I'm not playing games with myself. I'm not playing games with others. It's kind of like if you look at how people move into relationships or how people go into relationships, and they do that whole, oh, I'll just pretend I don't care. I'll pretend I don't like them. I'll pretend. And that pretending is pretentious. That pretending it's not a good way to go into any relationship. You should always be able to be your true, real, authentic self. But first, you have to find your true, real, authentic self. Sadly, 99.9% of the world has not really ever gotten to know themselves because we actually are very conditioned. And that was the whole journey to more than existing, was to really let that go. So yesterday in my journey of completion is I have been months and months and months going through this book that I bought I wanted the cover, like I love the cover, and I wanted my book to come out with that kind of cover, that spongy kind of cover. And I'm like, I just want to be able to show the publisher, like, this is kind of what I'm looking for. This is what I'm thinking. Give me the inspiration. Well, it ended up being a journal that whoever owned the journal didn't write in the journal. So it was called Jesus, My Life Coach. And I found it at the secondhand store. And I ended up taking the whole book and completing it from beginning to end. I did every single lesson in there. I answered every single question, and I completed it yesterday. And when I completed it, and the answers that I got by the end was nothing of the truth that I thought I was going to get. And I'm like, holy shit, really? And so there's a lot of those truths that we're facing. I'm like, that's not what everything that I've been telling myself, none of that is what I thought it was. And none of that is that truth. And these words, so a lot of things that you hear yourself repeating over and over is like what you think you're saying that you want other people to bring into your life, or you want other people to be. You don't realize you're actually speaking to yourself. And so a lot of the things we complain about is actually within you. So it took me on a new journey. So there is a new journey that is opening for us. We have many doors. And so if you're asking for a reading in here today, just know that this is one big reading. Today, this is one big collective reading in the early day sessions that I do in this in my lives. This is about the collective. This is energy reading. I'm doing a forecast energy reading for the collective. This is what we are all existing in right now. It'll all exist in people's stories differently, and how it resonates with you may be different, but there's truth here. So if you have been putting some really high expectations up on people or up on yourselves to be a certain way or to show up a certain way, or if you're putting a face on, if you're pretending to be somebody that you're not, just to get yourself into a job or to get yourself liked or to get yourself into any area, stop it today. Don't freaking do it. It's not worth it, because then it's not you going into a relationship. Every time that you show up as somebody other than yourself, you are representing a false self. It is not your truth. And so we've had a whole world that's been presented to us as false self our whole lives. And so now we are moving and shifting into truth, into a change. So if you find yourself that you meet people and then you say, well, that's not who I thought they were. They're not like that. That's not, well, they were giving you what you wanted to see, or you were seeing what you wanted to see. So often we have blinders on and we see only what we want to see. And when you see only what you want to see, then all of a sudden there is something that comes so in our face that we can't ignore it, we can't deny it, and it's looking right at us, and we're forced into changing perspectives. And this is what this moon is bringing forth for us. It's unfolding truth, that even if you didn't want to see a truth, even if you didn't want to face a truth, there's reality is coming. So there's a real reality that is like truth beyond the veil that is coming forth for us, and we're having to face it. And it's like, oh yeah, but it's not a bad thing. It's an opportunity. And when we take those opportunities, say, okay, I can look at things differently. I can be kind. I can be compassionate. And we have an understanding for where people's fear stories come in, and why people are so afraid to be themselves, and why people are always in the stories of pretending, because to be ourselves is either not enough, or it's like there's such judgment. It's like if the moment you step out and say, oh, I think I'll just be me, someone is quick to jump on that bandwagon of attack. And we've been under attack for being ourselves for a long freaking time. And it's like every time it's like, oh, well, I better pretend I don't think that way, or I better pretend I think like everyone else, or I better not have my own thought. And then you're being told, well, think for yourself, but don't really think for yourself. So we've had a lot of condescending energy that's been around us, and that's being wiped out. We're doing like we're done playing games, and wherever you're playing games, either in your mind, if you're in head games with yourself, if you're getting caught in stories, that's what this new moon, this full moon energy is bringing forth for you, and to be loving, to be kind, and to be true. Right. Okay, Megan. Right. It was right there on the phone. It was looking at you. Right. It's like, and that's it. It's like whether you want to see it or not, it's coming forth. So there's a lot of exposure. There's a lot of truth, and we're going to see. And I've been saying this in all of my predictions, I'm like, you're going to see unveilings of some truths, and you might not want to have to face the truth. You might not want to have to see the truth, but truth does set us free. And so there is some real serious truth. Exactly. Oops. I don't like this corner friggin' setup in my desk. And so this is truly about us being done playing games. So it's like, yeah. So there you go, Megan. The message really resonates with you. I am going to bring in the cards. And with that, we're going to shift energy, because some of this energy that's coming in is I'm reading your energy. As each and every one of you come in and you join in, I'm reading your energy. And so I'm reading the energy of the people who watch, who speak, who talk, like whoever's in. And I'm picking up that energy. So I'm going to do a shift here, because I feel like I have that whole, like, I really want to hear a message today. I really want a message. So I'm going to go into, there's a shift coming in here, and it's shifting me into, this is not, I'm not doing individual, Paul. This is going to be all collective today. I am still on holiday. This is supposed to be holiday day. So I am, but I'm shifting this energy into spirit world right now. and I'm going to take it into the divine, because the message that's coming through on a even deeper level, that's so what I was reading for you first is where the human collective is. That's the human collective energy, and getting to the truth and getting to know the truth. Now I'm going to shift it into the collective energy of the divine, of spirit world, of the beings, of the wise ones. And so from the place of wisdom, from the place of the all-knowing, I'm going to channel it through and allow the energy to come through as a message of love. And so it brings in it's bringing in white light energy. So there's this beautiful white light energy, pure white light energy that is illuminating throughout. And I feel like it's wrapping around the world and sending in prayers of healing. And it's amazing, and it amazes me how we can have such blinders on to the world and to the world that we exist within. And so when we speak when we speak of our world and saying, oh, things are falling into place and everything is falling into place and the world is going back to normal. The world is not going back to normal. What is normal? So what I'm being told is that, to have compassion, to care enough to understand that there is a lot of things that exist within this world that are so not fair, so not right, so not kind, so not good. And that if we really want to be able to bring our world, it's amazing the little minor little things that we turn into mountains, into big issues and big problems. But when we look at the world in a big scale, that the whole world needs healing. The whole world needs healing. Us as a human race needs healing. And we need it on a bigger scale. So this white light energy that is illuminating through us is that of the divine. And the divine energy that is coming in is that of the Sephrim angels. It's that of the right hand side of the God consciousness, the right hand side of you. Are you on the right side of your truth? Are you on the right side of happiness and joy? Are you on the right side of integrity, of honesty, of loyalty? And if you're loyal to a fault, to the insecurities, to the shadows, to the bad behaviors of others, if you're on the wrong, if you're on the right, if you're on the side of fear, if you're on the side of making excuses for others' bad behaviors, then you're not on the right hand side of your God consciousness, on your truth. To step into being able to be in the right hand side of your truth, of your honesty, means that you have the courage to face the things that you need to face, to look at things in the right way, to know that it is, you don't have to spend, are you willing to spend a lifetime ignoring the flags and justifying and explaining to other people they didn't really mean that? Oh no, don't pay attention. They didn't really mean that. They didn't really mean to be that cruel, that mean. They didn't really mean to hurt us. They didn't really, yes, they did. Yes, they did. And that is the whole side, is that humanity has a not so pretty side, and each and every one of us has it within us. But do we let it run our lives? And do we let what happened to us in childhood dictate that we have a right to mistreat people as grown adults? Do we let the fact that the world didn't give us what we want all through life, that we have the right to become assholes in this world? So we're being told to face the kind of that side of us. To be on the right hand side is that we stop being loyal to the shadows. We stop being loyal to the insecurities. We stop hiding the parts that we have to face. If we put more band-aids upon everything that we need to face, if we just keep surface healing gets us nowhere. And that's where I've been. As I took the deep dive, I faced my own attitude, my own action, my own behavior. And it came to me in these freaking cards. It's like really truly looking at the parts of us that, you know what, if you want to be free, if you want to live that, if you want to feel that liberation, to be liberated, is that we don't pretend, and we're not pretentious, and we don't, it's like that freaking passive aggressive. There's nothing that irks the shit out of me anymore than passive aggressive. It's that whole, oh, if you don't mind. It's like sending a message when all you want to do is ask a question, but you send the message of, oh, how's your day? What's happened? But you really don't care. And I always say, don't ask people how they're feeling if you don't want to stay long enough to get the answer. If you don't want to stay to hear actually their whole story of how they're feeling or how they're doing, and you only want it's like, oh, I'm doing good. Okay, good. But you really don't want to hear the rest. And so it's like that passive kind of aggressive energy, that whole sense of, oh, hi, how are you? How's it going? Hey, I just wanted to really ask you. Just ask me the fucking question. Just get to the point. And that's where we are. It's like, let's just deal with shit. Let's just do what we need to do. And so there's a whole lot of that energy. It's like, what do you really want? And I do that in my work. We need to stop using fillers. We have to stop filling up. We have to stop pretending. We have to stop being pretentious. We have to stop like putting that falsehood on this false happiness, this false joy. Let's just deal with things. Let's get honest. Let's get loyal to the truth. Let's get loyal to doing what we need to do. And if you want to do something, like, be honest. Just say, let's just say, let's look at climate change. It's like, okay, so this is why I want you to support this. It's because my friend owns this company and I have all these friends and I have this investment and I've invested into this and I believe in it, so I want you to. So I'm not going to give you a fear story. I'm not going to tell you the fear stories. I'm just going to tell you that that's what I believe in, and so that's what I'm doing. But I don't know exactly the whole how it will work. I don't know anything about it. See, there's a difference. And then it gives people a choice to be honest. So in relationships, if we do the same thing in relationship, if you need something from somebody, instead of sending the big long message and asking all this stuff that you really don't want to know and you don't want an answer to. So what I do is I often just jump to the questions that they ask in the bottom and I answer those, because the rest you didn't really want to know. And if you didn't really want to know and you really didn't care, don't bother asking. It doesn't hurt people's feelings. It hurts people's feelings when you discount sitting to listen, when you discount wanting to hear more, and so it doesn't hurt people's feelings when you get to that honesty. And that's where we are. It's like we're done playing those games. We're done being that pretend energy. And so wherever you're pretending, same thing as, if you follow along to people's lives, just, and if I don't get an answer right now, then I don't want it. And it's like, this is about us learning a new level of patience. And this is where that beautiful burning fire desire for us to find kindness and compassion, for us to care enough to want to get to the truth, to get to the bigger energy, to get to that place. Annette, my sister, says I'm too direct. No, Annette, you're probably not. People just weren't prepared for you. People weren't ready for it. And that's the difference. Right? It's not annoying, right? It's like, if you don't want to know, don't ask. And I remember one time I used to have this hair client who used to come in and she'd say, "Hi, how are you?" And before I would get I'm good, or this is my day, she would be like gone off, oh, blah, 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 and talking to someone else. And so finally, one day I just said to her, I'm like, listen, don't fucking ask me how I am today. Just sit in my chair and tell me what you want. And she looks at me and she says, what? And I said, you don't care about how I am. You are here to get your hair done with me. I'm not your friend. I am your hairdresser, and that's all I am to you. And that's okay. I'm okay with that. That's what you're paying me for. That's why I'm here. I'm not your friend. So don't ask me because you don't care about how I am. And she started to laugh and she said, and that's why I like you. And I said, but it's true. Don't ask those things because it is an insult. Don't insult people's intelligence. Don't be insulting to people, or don't be that passive aggressive that you think that you have to keep pretending. Be your truth, be your honesty, walk in your light, walk in your truth, walk in your honest self. That's the energy. That's what I'm reading today. And that's what's out there. So if that's always been you, then you're one step ahead. The rest of the world is just catching up to that. But that doesn't mean you're not kind. It doesn't mean you don't care. It just means that you care enough. You care enough to want to know the truth. You care enough to want to get to the point. You care enough not to waste people's time. You care enough. And that's what matters, is that we start to care. Um, you're welcome, Jaden. I have no idea where that came from, but I'm putting it out there because that's the truth, right? And it's like, and so if somebody cares enough about me to want to know how I'm doing and you want to know those answers, then I'm going to sit and tell you exactly how I'm feeling. And if not, I'm not going to give it. I'm going to answer the questions of what people are asking me. And I have so many people that really care on such a deep level that exist within my world, because people really do care deeply. And by caring deeply, it doesn't mean that they have to listen to everything. But that's where we're coming. We're done playing games. And when we're done playing games, you get to a truth. And so let's not play games. Let's just be honest. Let's be truthful. What is the motives? What is the motives? It's like people would pretend that I can't see through that manipulation. Like, really? Like, oh, if you feel like it, if you, no, it's not if I feel like it. This is what you want me to, what do you want me to do? What do you want? What do you need? What are you needing? And so once you can get to that truth, and what are you needing in relationship? And I tell this to everybody that I coach in group coaching, when it comes to being like in relationships, I'm like, don't don't go into a relationship and say, "Oh, I don't really care. I'm okay with casual dating. I'm not looking for nothing serious." But you are, right? And so if somebody is looking for, if one person says to you, "You know what? I don't want anybody serious. I'm not looking for anything. I'm not looking for a relationship," and you are looking for a relationship, then you should just, you should part ways right away. It's like, because if you say, "Oh, no, me either," because you just like that person and you're hoping eventually they're going to fall for you, that's disaster. That's like the train wreck. And you're on the rails, you're waiting for the train wreck. The train wreck is coming, because eventually that person's going to disappoint you. They're going to fail. They're going to be the asshole. They're going to be the person that's going to hurt you, but they were the honest person. But then you're going to call them everything in the world, and you're going to say they weren't honest, they were disrespectful, they didn't respect me. No, they were honest. You just stayed on the train when you should have got off the freaking train a long time ago, because you didn't want to hear the truth. And when you didn't want to hear the truth, you kept you hoped for a different outcome. And so it's like insanity, right? It's like you keep doing the same thing, you keep repeating the same patterns, hoping for a different outcome. And that's the world's energy. We've been on repeat, on repeat, on repeat, on repeat, in cycle, in cycle, in cycle. And we just keep putting band-aids, we keep surface healing, we keep finding a temporary solution, and nothing ever gets solved. And if we want to be able to do it, is we got to be willing to face the truth. We got to be willing to look at the world as it's not so freaking perfect. It never was. Mother Earth never needs us. She can wipe us out in second if she chooses to. The world is full of crap. The world is full of assholes, but the world is also full of beauty. It is full of good people, and there's still a lot of beauty and a lot of good people, and there's a lot of truth, and there's a lot of honesty. But sometimes you have to stop fluffing it up so that you can see it. And we need to be able to break cycles. We need to be able to come to endings now. And so bring that into you. The world that we speak of in a big world, bring it into mini, bring it into you, bring it into the world of you, and bring it into you. What cycles do you keep circling around? What band-aids are still on there? What surface healing, what surface work do you keep doing? It's like just dust. It's like sweeping the floor, but not mopping the floor. We got to get into the grains. You got to get down. Remember the days when you used to clean the floor with, like, on their hands and knees with a scrubbing brush and get in all the corners? There was a reason for that, because they were willing to get down and see the dirt, and to make sure that all the dirt was clean, and not just take a Swiffer and just go over the floor and surface clean and wipe it down and then tell yourself it was clean. It's only surface cleaned. To get it clean, you got to scrub. You got to be willing to get down on the hands and knees and get in there and do the work. And when you do the work, you find the truth of what it is that has been that one little freaking pebble in the shoe, the one little thing that keeps annoying you, that keeps you returning to the same misery, the same problem all the time. And once you find it, once you know it, you're aware of it. And I tell you, it changes things. And trust me, I've done it. I have done it. And I've been there. And so I had to be really honest with myself on something yesterday. I'm just trying to see if I bought the book upstairs. I was seeing if I brought my own personal journal upstairs, because I was going to read you something from my journal of yesterday. Um, I'll try to put it in. I'll try to put it in perspective with the cards as well. So this is our card, temptation, right? We're tempted to, it's that unity, is that we are all united, we are all one, we're all much more alike than what you think we are. We all have stories, we all have, right? It's like we can all play games, we can all get in our head, we can all become the enemy, we can all become that, but we can also all become love and light. We have the potential within us to all become love and light, to unite, to coexist in a world where we all belong. We're all from the one source. No matter how much you try to divide, no matter how much you try to be different, no matter how much you're trying to prove your uniqueness to the world, but we're all alike. We all have something about us that makes us special, but we are all alike. And so the temptation, and this card is all made with, Sadie's got it all bent up. This card is made with one thread. One line joins from beginning to end, and that is the connection. And you can look wherever you want and pretend to be whoever you want. You can try to be anything, but in the end, we're all the same. We're all the same. And it's such a beautiful thing when you start to recognize that we are all alike. So in my temptation, in my journey that I've been on, is I always would say, I hate when I really don't like when people try to be me. It's like, and it's not that it's an insult to me, it's probably a compliment. But I keep saying, if you could only see what you have inside of you, why would you want to be second best to me when you could be the best of you? Like, why would, and when I heard that statement, that was just like, oh, such an aha, but it's such a truth. It's like, why would you want to be me when you can be you? Like, there's such a beauty. So why are you trying to be me? Or why is it me being me such a problem to you being you? Or why do why are you trying to dress like me? Or why, like, that to me hurts my heart. It hurts my heart on such a degree. And I said, it makes me freaking mad. It makes me frustrated. I feel that. But what I come to realize was that statement. Every time I was making that statement, and I've been making that statement for years, every time I make the statement, and I call my own self out, I don't just call out other people, is every time I make that statement, I would always say, it just frustrates me. It makes me mad. I don't like when when someone takes someone else's personality type of thing and kind of recreates it into theirs. What I realized was that when I talk that, I actually do that. Not in taking people's goodness, is because I'm a healer, because I work as a healer, and because I'm that generational passed down healer that would take from people their pain, their hurt. I take that from people. So when I work with people, or when I'm in the presence of people, and I teach and stuff, so I give everybody the best of me. I give all of my work, all of my love. And then, because I have such compassion, I was taking that part to them that wasn't serving those people and taking it on as my own story, my own hurt. So every time I would have that little rant of frustration and sadness and anger, I had, damn, I was becoming somebody else. I wasn't becoming myself, because anything that was of sadness, of unhappiness, of frustration, of anger is not my true self at all. It's not my identity. It's not anything of who I am. I am so freaking happy go lucky. And I remember the little girl. I remember what she was like. And I was that carefree. And so every part of me that was in those stories is, I was speaking to myself. And a part of that freedom was to set that free, to say, you know what? That is not, I'm taking that energy. I'm becoming somebody else. I'm playing that role of being somebody else when I'm angry, when I'm frustrated, so I'm taking taking the best of people. I'm taking the worst of people. I'm taking the hurts from people and the pain from people, and I'm leaving my gems of my light and saying, here, you become me. You become this happy person. You become everything that I don't have time to be, or everything I don't feel worthy to be. You be it. You be that success. You be that story. You be that truth. You be that love. You be that light. And we do that. And that's why my work called Soul Revival, which is, it's actually called Soul Retrieval, but I call it Soul Revival. So the goddess within, it's the revival, the soul revival of the goddess within. But the work is called Soul Retrieval. It's about stepping back through and picking up the pieces of us. And when you start to pick up the pieces of you, you start to discover such a truth in yourself. You start to find. So I was always tempted to give everyone that parts of me, but in the meantime, I was taking on identities, personalities and not the good qualities. And not the good qualities of people. So I found myself, and this is why you have not been seeing as much of me lately, is because I have been doing some really deep soul searching journey of why would I feel frustrated? Why would I feel so sad? Why would I feel so hurt? This is not me. That's not my truth. And so finding your way into you, finding your way home to you, really truly takes becoming honest. No surface work. Getting deep, diving deep into it, doing the work that needs to be done so that we can truly step up and step forth, because there is nobody in the world that knows you as well as you know you. Nobody can paint the picture of you. Nobody can create the image of you. Nobody can become you. The only other one that knows you any better than you is the God consciousness, the creator of us, the source of us. Other than that, it is you. There's no one in the world who spends as much time with you as you spend with you. So you better damn well know you, like you, love you, and stop trying to be somebody else. And whether it's good, bad, or ugly, you don't need to be it. Be you. Be you. Because when you learn to fall in love and you learn to fall into you, you start to want to know more of you. You start to want to build a more beautiful relationship. And that's why I don't have time for fillers. Because if people want to be with me as much as I want to be with me now, for the first time in my life, I actually enjoy being with myself on such a level that I don't pick myself apart. And I can say, I'm new to this. This is new. I'm new in this self. And so being new in this energy means taking time to learn this, to be in this. Yeah. So I hope that helps you somehow. You taught me to observe first the middle road, then respond to my truth. Yes, exactly, Alicia. Get to that middle road, right? It's like really want to get to that middle road. Regina, I like direct, but sometimes how they say it isn't always so nice. Yes, now that's right. It's not about kindness and compassion. So direct doesn't mean mean. Direct doesn't mean mean or cruel. It means go to your higher self before you speak your truth. Be kind, be compassionate, and is it going to be valuable? Does it really make a change? If it's being an asshole, don't be it. Don't be an asshole, right? It's like be kind with your words, be compassionate with your words, and that's what I mean. Once you know you, you even speak that to yourself. Lisa, such a valuable lesson. Realize the power of thought and the energy it drains from self. When the thoughts are heavy, sending understanding, love, and acceptance frees all. Yes, exactly. Thank you, Megan. And so there's such truth that really comes in, and so many changes, right, Ellie? Yes, I love these cards too. And so there's so much to be found and so much to be discovered. And what I learned in my journey throughout this world and throughout this life is that if you could see humanity, if humans could see that we are such magic and such miracles, that we have the capability to be such a good world, to be so good to each other, and that we have the opportunity to be those changes, that we really would start with ourselves. And when we start with ourselves, it changes generation after generation after generation. And so, see, we keep getting this. We're so close to that. We're so close to that rebirth. We're so close to that new beginning. This is wholeness. This full moon is about us squeezing through that little opening. It's like squeezing through that. It becomes so uncomfortable to have to get there. But do you want to carry the rest of the load? Do you want to keep doing what you're doing? This is about, we got a few days in this next few days to really dive deep, to go deep into your story, to go deep into your truth, to recognize somebody, what's on repeat in your vocabulary. What do you keep repeating? What do you keep trying to be? What do you keep trying to show up as? What is that repeat that now you know that when you hear it back, God, I think I've been speaking to myself. I think that's my truth. And so this is rebirth, and it is also the universal light of love, which is the Lumarian, and that beautiful Lumarian is becoming the master. And so the only thing we're here to master is the human existence. And when you recognize that more than existing, this whole journey, this whole book is about mastering the human. It's about mastering your human journey. It is not about escaping this truth. It's not about escaping this world. It's not about leaving. It's not about trying to live outside of this world. It's not about spending so much time in meditation or taking psychedelic drugs to escape here. It's about learning to come here, be right here. And so for me, where it has taken me is into the power of prayer. And you don't have to be religious for prayer. You don't have to be religious for prayer. Prayer is about learning to communicate. Prayer is about the power of asking from a place of not desperation, not out of fear, but asking out of faith. When you learn to ask out of faith, when you learn to ask out of love, when you learn to communicate in a more loving, caring, compassionate way, you actually want to stay to hear the answers. You actually want to engage in a deeper conversation. I always say I don't do that casual conversation very well. I never have. I love deep conversations. I love to know more about people. I love to know more about where they've come from, where they have been, and what it is they're actually seeking and searching. And the rest is fluff. And so in that deepness of us, there is such beauty, there is such awe. And in that deepness, in the dark, is where your truth is. Because the truth of you have yet to exist within. Because everything has been conditioned, programmed. You've been created and molded by the human existence of those who've been in our existence with us. And now, as grown-ass adults, this is our opportunity to dive deep, to find your truth, to be you, to create, to be you, to return to that sense of self. So in the power of prayer, we learn communication. You learn to communicate through asking, having patience to listen. And so prayer is to ask, meditation is to listen. And so in that sense of self, that when you ask, you only have to ask once. And then you have to have patience, and you have to trust the divine timing. Every time you keep asking in prayers, you're begging. And if you got to beg for things in this life, if you had to beg for someone to be in your life, if you have to beg for attention, if you have to beg, you're degrading yourself. You're taking away your worth, your power, your value. You don't need to beg. You ask once. And when you ask, you allow the rest to unfold. What is needed falls into our lives. What is to be is yours. Nobody can take what is meant to be yours. And as much as we get fear, and we get caught in fear, afraid someone's going to, like people say, oh, you're sharing your work, somebody will take your work. I'm like, people can't take what is yours. They can imitate it, and they can pretend that it's theirs. They can, but you can't be. You can never be what somebody else is designed to be. And so everything that is of yours, and everything that's of your life, and of what is meant for you will unfold and fall into your life in that divine timing. If we ask in our prayers, and we learn to communicate in the power of silence, in the power of listening. The ability to listen is the perspective of the direction of the perspective that we need to start to go. Because the problem is that you hear a statement and you want to respond, you want to react, and you want to become offended and defensive and all of those things. And this is now the time that in the perspective, the direction that we look is that we take our blinders off. We be more willing to look. We be more willing to listen. And that includes listening to yourself, listening to your higher self, listening to that gut, listening to that pain in your body, listening to that nagging feeling, listening. So in those power of that prayer is what I have discovered is that stepping into who I am as a mystic, into who I am as the oracle, is the direction of my work, or else I would not have created More Than Existing. More Than Existing, that whole journey was created by the fact that I am here to be the author, the writer, the creator, and to be able to keep molding and creating these stories to help. So I will be launching in June a Power of Prayer, seven prayers, 7 weeks that will be coming out. And prayer is not about religion. And that's the problem, is that we have been so feared into faith over the years. And faith is not built on fear. Faith is built on hope, kindness, compassion. To be able to live in that existence, to exist within that, truly changes our lives. And today and every day, to find our way into allowing faith instead of fear to guide your way, to be able to ask for what it is that you need without having to fluff it up. You don't have to be passive aggressive with the spirit world, with God consciousness. What do you need? And trust me, they will give you a sign. They will give you synchronicities and signs, and they'll move and shift you and your energy. All they ask is for you to get out of your own way. The only thing standing between you and your life is you. Is the you that keeps getting in the way of your own happiness, your own joy, your own life that you're here to live, by putting the barriers, the blocks, the shoulda, coulda, wouldas, the control, I need an answer, I need a sign. Show up. Show up. Each and every day, show up for you. And when you show up for you and you take action steps towards you, which means you're willing to put the work into self-discovery, self-awareness, into the healing. Say a meme is not going to fix your life. It's another Band-Aid. You've got to be willing and stop saying, I know. No, we don't know. And that's the problem. We don't know. If you wake up every day as if I know nothing, it's an opportunity to learn the wisdom. And so devotion, and I'm going back to my old deck of cards, which you have not seen in a long time, and is the Mary and the Saints, the Marys and the Saints. It is the Mother Mary deck. And so the card that comes out is patience. See? So the unicorn energy is back. We are being poked, we're being prodded, we're being questioned. They are questioning your motives. They're questioning your behavior. They're questioning with love, with compassion, with kindness, because we have the sweet Sagittarius energy here that's kind of nudging us in to be that, to kind of like to circle through, to harness in your energy, to harness in your truth, to get out of your own way, and to know that magic and miracles come when we are devoted, when we stay devoted, committed to the journey, to ourselves, and to have the patience to be able to trust what is happening, what is moving forth in our lives, and to know that the one thing that I asked for when I wrote More Than Existing, I am done. I am finding joy and happiness no matter the cost. And that is the card, joy. You will never know joy and happiness by depending on the material world to provide it for you. And I'll tell you exactly, I'm going to tell you one last story before I let you go. So this card, joy, I flew to Newfoundland a few years ago and my dad was sick. And I know some of you have heard this story. It's in one of my books that I've got written here. It's in You Can't Make This Shit Up book. It's the book it's in. I flew to Newfoundland a few years ago and my dad was really sick. And I didn't know if I should leave. And I took him to the hospital and it ended up he had an infection. And they didn't know what it was, but it was like he was losing his mind. And I said, I don't want to go home. And the doctor said, Corey, I know I'm going to run every test, and there's more to the story, but I'm just it down here. And so I left. And I got in Toronto airport and I had been up 36 hours and I'm sitting there and I'm pulled out a Mother Mary prayer. And it's like, I look like shit. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. And I see this big, tall, handsome man walking towards me. He's an older gentleman. And I'm like, why is he coming over here? There's nobody else here. Like there's all kinds of seats. And he walked over to me and he said, I came over here because you didn't want me to come over here. I could hear you. I knew you didn't want me to come over. So I'm coming to sit next to you because you didn't want me to. What are you doing? I said, I'm reading a Mother Mary prayer, but no, I did not want you to sit next to me. I've been up for hours. I'm tired. I'm stinky. And he says, well, he says, I heard come to you. So I'm coming to you. This is how magic and miracles works. This man ended up being a messenger. He ended up getting called back up to the front and they couldn't get him on the plane. So they couldn't get him on this flight and I'm like, he's coming back. He comes back and he says, come with me. I said, where are we going? He says, come with me. I said, I'm not going with you. You're a stranger. He says, listen, you don't blend into the crowd. This is Toronto Airport. And in Toronto Airport, everybody kind of blends in. I seen you from all the way down there and something told me to come to you. So, and there's a reason why I can't get on the plane. So you have to have faith and trust me and come with me. We're going to go to the VIP American Express lounge. And I said, I got my own American Express. I can get in there myself. So he's like, yeah, so you can, but you also got attitude. So come with me. What's your name? So I told him, I don't even remember what his name was. I was so tired. We went upstairs. We sat down. He asked me what I did. And I told him, and he made fun of me. And I said, hey. And he said, no, I'm sorry. I didn't mean that. He says, I'm going to tell you something. And I want you to remember this. Get on the plane. And when you get on the plane, I want you to watch the movie Joy. And when you watch that movie Joy, I want you to know that you're her. And someday you're going to be her. You are going to be that woman. And you're going to remember this conversation. And someday you're going to see me sitting in the front row. And when you see my face, you will remember me. I don't know why I was told to go to you. I don't know why I was told to give you this message, but you will do this. I got on the plane. I'm like, there's no way. I'm too tired. I watched the movie. It's the same woman who made the Velcro hangers and the spin mop. And her story, I end up buying the movie. And every time I lose faith in me or I feel like I can't, I rewatch that movie. And I watch it over and over and over again. This was the statement, joy and happiness no matter the cost. Yesterday, when I finished doing my book that I was doing, the life coaching, the journaling, the very last question was about joy. It was about joy. That was the last question. Once again, I was taken back to the story of joy. Every time I go through something sad or something of that movie, I have the freaking spin mop. I didn't even think about when I was buying it. My closet is full of Velcro hangers. Didn't even think about that. Every time that image, that story pops up, how many people actually would have walked away with that person? How many people would have rejected that moment? Those are synchronicity moments. All you're asked is to get out of your way. Get out of the way and allow the messengers to show up. Allow God to show you the way. Whatever that God is for you today, it is a light that beams up on us. It's a white light energy that guides us, that shows us that when things are impossible or things don't seem like they should be able to happen, is the craziest of things happen. I have a book full of those you can't make this shit up moments. I know I'll meet that man someday. And as he was hugging me, he hugged me before I left, and he says, and let me guess, you got a story about pilots. He says, I'm here to change that story for you. And I'm here to tell you, you will make this. You will do this. The voice of the God consciousness of spirit world speaks through strangers. It speaks through rocks. It speaks through the sun. It speaks through the rays. It speaks through the clouds. It is everywhere. When you learn to just ask and then you listen, you can hear it everywhere. You've got to be willing to go quiet enough to listen. Listen to what is not being said in order to hear the truth of what it is you are here to do. and why you're here. And it is to live as your truth, your happiness, and not anyone else's. Be only you, do the deep work, get real. And it doesn't mean we're all here to be famous. It means that we're here to be the best friggin' human being that you can be. And that means be the best human being that you can be for you. And no relationship, no man, no woman, no nothing in your life, no job will provide for you what you can provide for you by building a relationship with you. And that's the truth that we're sitting in today. And I hope that helps you in some way. And I hope that brings joy into your life. And I will validate it with one last card, go back to my own deck to end this out for you. And I hope in some way that this resonates with each and every one of you. And as the divine feminine, the sisterhood. When you can't hold yourself up, there is somebody there to hold you up. When you tell your friends or you speak your truth to the people that matter, they are there for you. And just know that you don't have to do this world alone, this life alone. We are not here to do it alone. And as I showed you the cards when we first came in, the exact same card is on the bottom, the eye of the beholder. Through the eye of the beholder, I see me. Through the eye of the beholder, I see you. And if you could see what I see in you, you would never again doubt yourself, sell yourself short, or let somebody mistreat you again. Nor would you mistreat yourself again. Because inside of each and every one of us is that little speck of the God consciousness. So I hope this helps you in some way. Have a beautiful day, and I will see you all. I don't know when I'll see you this week. I'm working all this week with clients. I am book solid, so we'll see. This week will be random times when I get in with you, but I should be in tomorrow morning, probably early. Much, much love. Have a beautiful, beautiful rest of your day, and go take a good look and look beyond your truth today. Go a little deeper. Much love. Bye-bye.